Welcome to UNCAGED. Today we're speaking with Hristo Petkov. Now, Hristo is the Vice President of Partnerships at Controlant that aims to build a healthy supply chain for a healthy world. Tell us a little bit about you and your career.
Well, Ben, about me, currently working at Controlant as Vice President of Partnerships, as you mentioned. I took on this role about 6 months ago, where I wanted to find a new challenge and also really like the mission of Controlant into enabling pharmaceutical companies deliver products and eliminating waste within the supply chain, delivering products to their patients. So the vision and really resonated with me, together with my previous experience at AP Müller-Maersk, where I was mainly driving the pharma and healthcare vertical in the last half a decade, so to say, dealing with global trade, focusing on temperature control shipments and pharmaceuticals, as I mentioned. So yeah, kind of really took what I built on in the last decade, global trade, into logistics. I'm very keen on sports, on personal health, and when you look in healthcare systems now and the way you have the advancement of pharmaceutical products and how fast new pharmaceutical products are coming to market, I saw that there is a gap to really be able to deliver those products to patients. So I think at Controlant, we are very much focusing on this, and it's a great challenge that I have taken on.
So it sounds amazing. Tell me a little bit more about what it means to do partnerships at something like Controlant.
So doing partnerships is, of course, collaborating with others. We might have the greatest solutions in-house, but if we don't partner with other companies and we don't sell it to other companies, what is it good for? So it's very much finding gaps in the market and being able to collaborate with others to fill those gaps. And sometimes, others might want to do the same things, but they're not the professionals. They don't have the focus. And while it might take some people or some companies hundreds of millions of dollars of investments and an army of people, we might be able to do it in our scale-up company better, faster, cheaper. So it's really partnering. It's about collaborating with others and enabling others.
So, Hristo, was really interesting during the pandemic, the worst parts of the pandemic. We heard a lot of discussion about the supply chain. I would say even now, we still hear about the supply chain really not being back to normal, or logistics being challenged on kind of those local solutions, getting things to customers. And then we also hear about all this amazing innovation, drones and all of this type of stuff. I mean, where are you seeing people and businesses focus their energy right now?
I would say mainly the focus is on innovation through digitalization by far. I mean, what you heard and learned about supply chains during the COVID pandemic, it's everyday life in logistics, not to a large extent. Maybe exaggerating a little bit, but a lot of people really found out about logistics, about supply chains, and what has happened is really putting the focus on how do we get better from here. There is definitely an opportunity. Drones, extremely exciting, still a little bit of distant. I also know a good company that is making very big drones, and hopefully they're successful, but there's other technologies like Controlant and real-time temperature and location visibility that really came to life during the COVID pandemic. Actually, the company grew so much over the last 3 years, and mainly because Controlant enabled Pfizer to deliver the COVID vaccine. This was really a Kickstarter. We had a very, very big play and enabled a company like Pfizer to succeed. And then we are trying to see how do we take this solution widely to the market, to the pharmaceutical companies, but also in my own focus to the logistic companies.
That's great. And so tell me a little bit more about that. So, I mean, I love to see the innovation that was accelerated in a way through the pandemic. And it sounds like Controlant is really one of those stories. Tell me exactly how Controlant helps or evolves and pushes that process forward.
Yeah. So a scale-up company that has the possibilities to go left and right where it's needed. So when we saw the opportunity to really create a solution in the market that would bring value, we could really accelerate and do so much. First of all, we digitalize real-time visibility. So by putting a temperature tracker into the pharmaceutical product, you can make sure that the product is okay, validated, or the integrity of the product is safe. Then through software and a platform, you can share the data and you can make sense of the data. We have a proven and trusted solution. And being a successful company, we're extremely focused on innovation and sustainability. To be able to make a difference in logistics, and when we talk about digital solutions, it's extremely important to innovate and to better your product, but also to have sustainability on mind, how you really make the world a better place for the future generation and for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great point, Hristo, but I'm kind of curious because pharma is one of these industries, it's critical for our lives. It's so scaled. I mean, it's such a massive industry. Customers definitely need medications and solutions on a daily, sometimes multiple times a day for their lives. So how do you scale this? And how do you make sure that the solutions are in some ways integrated, or that there's kind of a shared set of rules and rules frameworks that everyone follows?
That's an interesting question. I mean, when you think delivering pharmaceutical products to patients, and very often it's maybe in a pharmacy, in a hospital where you get a lot of patients, but nowadays with a lot of different diseases and a lot of products, you need to go to the patients themselves. So we're talking about end-to-end real-time visibility and being able to secure the product integrity. So, tracking products on a unit level from factories to the patient. So how do you do this when there is multiple legs and many logistic companies that take care of this? We need to make sure that something stays with the product, usually a tracking device or IoT label that stays with the product, and you track the product throughout the supply chain. So when the product arrives to the patient, first of all, the logistic company can make sure that the right patient have received the medicine and the treatment. And then the patient should be able to make sure that they receive the right product and the product has its integrity and they can consume it. So enabling all of this is extremely exciting. Yeah. And it's really the challenge that I signed up for. There is so much into it.
Well, I can see that you're excited and you have an incredible depth of knowledge in the space, Hristo. And so I would love to kind of get a sense of really what drives you. So I always find it interesting to understand why certain people go into certain industries and what their passion or motivation was to do what they do. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about, why you entered the logistics and health space and really what brings you joy in that work.
Well, why I entered logistics? I mean, does anybody enter logistics? I think you kind of end up in it. I think what really drove me was global trade and my global education in international trade. So I joined Maersk at the time here in Copenhagen. It was extremely interesting. The advancement and the way the company changed over the years and transformed is something that really kept me in logistics. And then also learning a lot about temperature control, pharmaceutical products, product integrity, patient safety is something that really made me stay within this industry. And coming to Controlant is the whole mission statement around the company and the good that we're doing for the world that kind of keeps me motivated and excited to be at work every day.
I was dealing with one of my children. He's a 19-year-old, and he had an internship where he was dealing with, he was supporting a company that was managing logistics of wheat, transporting wheat from the Ukraine. And obviously you can imagine that's quite a complicated thing to be doing right now, but he found it fascinating. I think it's actually one of these disciplines, Hristo, is that when you start to really work in global supply chain and try to understand some of the challenges, it's a really, really interesting space to figure out how to do it. And so I completely understand why people work in this space. But as you look forward now and you think about 2023 and where things are going for Controlant, what's on the docket?
Oh, there is just so much happening. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We're looking for we're looking for people to help us, excel. We have conversations with a lot of pharmaceutical companies. We're having conversations with logistic companies. The solution that we have validated, and we're confident we're on the right track. So it's a matter of really, building the products, advancing the products, creating innovations, and driving adoption with customers. There's just simply so much happening all the time.
That's great.
It's about having the right priorities right now for us.
Yeah, and I can imagine it's just literally evolving at this kind of accelerated pace so that we can keep up with all of the needs as really the economy shifts to this more sustainable structure going forward. Well, Hristo, if somebody wanted to learn more about Controlant and what you do, where's the best place to reach you?
Well, they can either go to our controlant.com website, or people are, of course, welcome to reach directly to me on LinkedIn. Hristo Petkov at LinkedIn, right? I'll say that's the best.
Excellent. Well, Hristo, it's been amazing talking to you. We've been speaking with Hristo Petkov. He is the Vice President of Partnerships at Controlant. We've been talking about really the evolution, kind of the rapid evolution over the last couple of years in the supply chain space, as well as really kind of the work that companies like Controlant are doing in building that healthy supply chain going forward and finding a way to do it in a way that reduces waste, ensures patient safety, makes sure that the end customer gets that experience and that product that they need, finding ways to actually manage temperature, all of these things that require a lot of technology, a lot of digitization, and a lot of complexity to do it at scale. Hristo, thank you so much for taking us through everything, and we look forward to having you back on the UNCAGED show.
Thank you, Bent. It's been a pleasure. And when you come to Copenhagen, I'll take you for a beer and tell you a lot of logistics or supply chain stories.
Wonderful. Cheers.
Thank you so much.